Welcome back, participants. I hope my voice is audible now. Uh, this is the second session for the HATS distance learning workshop organized by Royal Cyber. And I am Asif Hussain. Along with me, I have Muhammad Imran, who has many years of HATS development experience. I myself have been working in the industry for modernizing legacy systems using different IBM technologies for the past many years now. Today, in the first session, we covered some aspects of the development environment that the IBM Rational solution provides us. And in this part of the training, we will continue with some IDE aspects, as well as we will talk about some basic solution building techniques with HATS. So here you're seeing a slide about themes, and like any other theme you can imagine in any sort of software development, this is quite similar. It's about the look and feel of the application. HATS IDE, or Rational Application Developer, has a pre-built themes and skins to use with HATS projects. There are also wizards to create new themes and skins. In addition to these wizards for creating new skins and themes, there are tools that can be used to change or edit these. Once created, skins and themes are displayed in Project Explorer view of the IDE. We can double-click a skin or theme to manually edit it. These themes are actually CSS-based themes, and most of you are already aware that any web page uses CSS for its design aspects. And HATS development environment provides a wizard by which CSS writing is made very easy even for the developers who are not comfortable writing CSS, because normally CSS writing is something that is considered a job of designer, and designers not only provide Photoshop PSD file or a JPEG file with the design, they normally convert it into HTML, write the CSS involved in the design. So normally the core developers are not comfortable writing CSS. So HATS development environment covers it pretty well by giving a wizard kind of environment by which a HATS developer can design or write CSS using a wizard. So we'll cover how this wizard works in subsequent slides. Now here you can see another kind of theme selection that the HATS development environment provides. It's not about CSS, it's kind of a set of settings clubbed together in different with different names. Here you can see there are appearance and behavior themes for standard, modern, web application, classic, terminal emulator, custom. By selecting each of these radio buttons, a certain set of settings are selected from here. And so this is kind of, and I'll explain all these settings in detail in just now, but the appearance and behavior theme section here, what it does, it makes a selection on different options from here. So let's see how each of these settings options are used, and how can we capitalize maximum using these options. So first one is automatic field advance. When this option is selected, either by standard any of the appearance, behavior, theme selection, or by custom section, as you can see on the next slide here, custom selection options are available where a developer can use choose options on his own choice. So if automatic field advance option is selected, what it does is the cursor, it moves the cursor to the next input field if the cursor is located at the end of current input field. If auto advance is disabled, the cursor doesn't go to the next input field until the user explicitly moves it. Second option, that is cursor positioning on protected fields. It allows cursor positioning on protected fields, as the name suggests. If true, all the protected text is rendered as links. Linking one of these links causes the host cursor position to be set to that specific position. Field extended attributes. By selecting this option, it render extended fields attributes like blink, reverse video, underline, and column separator with a specific style. Host keypad. It is to show a default host keypad in the application. At the bottom of the page, normally, default keypad is displayed by selecting this option. Keyboard support. Enable keyboard support. When keyboard support is enabled, user can use physical keyboard keys to interact with the host. Whatever key is pressed by the user on his physical keyboard, it is conveyed to the host application from the WebSphere application server. Operator information area. This displays host status information in the application. So the information like what kind of connection is made with the host, either if it's secure or not, or in what mode the server is being run, and all other such settings are displayed on the web application that is made with hats if this option is selected. Overwrite mode. Text is overwritten by default when users type in the input field. If initial overwrite mode is disabled, then text is added without deleting other characters. The end user can toggle from this initial setting using the insert key on the keyboard. So when this mode is on, what it does, whenever a field gets focus, all of its text is selected, and whatever the user enters replaces the text what it was earlier on the field. Rendering using monospaced font. As the name suggests, the new page that will be created will be created with a monospaced font. Monospaced font, what is monospaced font? Many of you are aware already, but just to make sure, there are fonts with each of their character having a specific or a fixed width. So either if I am typing or displaying I, or if I'm displaying O, both of these characters will take same width on screen, although in many of the fonts they will take different widths, as I is much thinner than O in design, of course. So that is it with the options that we have for this theme selection. Now let's get back to CSS. CSS are cascading style sheets. They are a tool used with HTML pages to ensure that an application has consistent colors, fonts, and sizes across all pages. It is possible to create a default style sheet when creating a new project. And there are several examples included with application developer. Usually a good idea is to decide on the overall theme, color, fonts for web application in the beginning and create the style sheet at the start of the development effort. Then as you create the HTML and JSP files, you can select that style sheet to ensure that the look of the web pages are consistent. During HATS development, CSS makes it easy to manage the look and feel of the HATS application. It is kind of a global visual setting for entire HATS application. Development environment has a built-in CSS designer or kind of wizard, as I earlier said, for CSS writing. This wizard creates a CSS file with all the display settings of the project that includes color, fonts, space between letters, buttons, style, etc. The CSS designer is used to modify cascading style sheet files. It provides two panels. The right-hand side showing all the text types and their respective font styles, sizes, and colors, which are all editable. On the left-hand side, a sample of how the various settings will look are displayed. Any changes made are immediately applied to the design in Web Designer so that the designer or developer knows what he's doing. In the HTML file is made and linked with the CSS file automatically. From here, Muhammad Imran will continue and he will demonstrate how this CSS designer works, this wizard works, and how we use CSS classes created by this. Over to you, Imran.
Thank you, Asif. Here we will continue from our previous lab, which we have performed in our previous session. So on that lab, please expand the web content and then template folder in your project and double click on Cyril.jsp. It is a template which we have selected in our performed lab. To open it in design view, as you can see on the slide, put your cursor beside my company text by clicking the mouse By using a backspace key from the keyboard, remove the text My Company and insert the name of your company name, for example, Royal Fiber, and then click on the Preview tab. These changes can also be made in the source view and then previewed on the Preview tab. Make other changes if desired, then save the changes by saving your file. Now you can see in preview that company name has been changed. Now it is Royal Fiber. Now click the Design tab. In the area of the template that say host screen transformation will be shown here. Now click here. Host screen transformation will be shown here. Click the Property tab and then click the TD tab. Then select Background Image by clicking the button and then click Browse. Now select the image and then click OK button. Actually we are using the image in our TD background. Now the template will look like this. It is only apply on particular TD because we have selected the TD. If you want to apply the image to whole page, then click Property, then click Body Tag. Under Body Tag, select Style and Property and the select Background, where you can apply the image to the whole page. Now here we will learn how to create a new style classes and how we can use them in our default rendering set. In order to perform part 2 of this lab, we need a screen capture. So perform the following step first before starting this part. In host terminal, by right clicking on project folder, then open host terminal, then select main. So your terminal will be open. On the sign on screen, click the create screen capture button. In the resulting capture a screen dialog box, set the name of screen capture as sign on and click finish button. Open your project template. For example, we know our project default template is Cyril.jsp. Select, for opening it, select project, then web content, then template, then Cyril.jsp. So double click on Cyril.jsp and select source view. In the source view of Cyril.jsp, press Ctrl F key, find replace window will appear. In the find field, type .css and click on find button. You will see that your template is using monochrome themes.css style sheet. To open this monochrome themes.css file, select heads project, then web content, then common, then style sheet, then monochrome themes.css. Double click on this file, this CSS file to open it. So now this file is open here. Scroll all the way down and hit enter key after the last class is written to put your cursor on the place as you can see on the slide. Now add following 3 classes in this CSS file, title class, my class, and error message class. Now we will add our own default rendering set and will use our own classes which we have just created and save in monochrome themes.css file. Double click on project setting file of your project and click on rendering tab. And click on the add button. It will open new default rendering item panel. In the name field, type title and then click next. Now select the screen region where you want to render particular component with your own class, like title class, which we have wrote in a CSS file. Draw a box around sign on. Make sure select as much area that cover the title of this page. And then click next button. Select field from the component panel and field from the widget panel. Then click on widget setting button. Uncheck use project default and also uncheck enable foreground colors and type title class in the field style class. You will see the changes on the right side in the preview. Now click OK button and then finish button. So we have created our first rendering set, which is using our own CSS class for the title. Now create the second rendering set. Select rendering tab if not selected in project setting and then click add button. It will open new default rendering item panel. In the name field, type my class and then click next button. Select all the region of host screen, leaving the area that contain the title and error message, and then click next button. Select field from the component panel and field from the widget panel. Then click on widget setting button. Once again, uncheck use project default and also uncheck enable foreground color and type my class in the field style class. You will see that change on the right side in the preview. Now click OK button and then click finish button. Now we are going to create third rendering set which will be used for the error purpose. So select rendering tab in project setting and then click the add button. It will open new default rendering item panel. In the name field, type error message and then click next button. Select the region of the host screen that expects error message as shown on the slide and then click next button. Select field from the component panel and field from the widgets panel. Then click on widget setting button. Uncheck use project default and also uncheck enable foreground colors and type error message in the field style class field. Now click OK button and then finish button. Now right click on your project and run it on server, and here you can see that on the title your first class has applied for the title, and in the body our second class, my class, is applied, and our third class which we created for error purpose, it has been applied on the for the error message. So it is the end of the session. If you have any question, please write in a chat. We have one question from Mr. Kumar. What is rendering set? So rendering sets are responsible for transforming host screens that have not been individually customized. The selected default rendering set attempts to preserve the original host screen structure while extending the functionality of the application by applying web design principles. That is, it does more than render host screen, non-protected fields as HTML input fields. It can transform like function key into buttons or links, selection list into down, and tabular region into HTML tables.
We have a question from Mr. Blanchard. Maybe I'm pronouncing the name incorrect. Apologies in advance if I'm pronouncing it incorrect. So the question is, do you send us the second lab, please? We have already shared the presentation in PDF format with the participants, with the registrants, in fact. And so if due to any reason you are not having that presentation, you can ask us to email you again. But we have already emailed all of the registrants a copy of this presentation, and this presentation has the lab. We have a question from Mr. John that what is component and what is widget? Component is Java code that recognizes components on host screen. Stub class is created in the source folder, and the component is registered with the project. While a widget is a Java code that renders output from a component. Stub class is created in the source folder, and the component is registered with the project, and similarly. And we'll use some components and widgets in the sessions ahead. We have a question from our first session that what is HAT's rich client platform? HATS gives you an ability to transform access to your existing host application using rich client GUI applications that run in Eclipse Rich Client Platform or Lotus Expediter client environments. It is not a web application. It is a kind of a desktop application that is a modernized version of a green screen application. So it is called a rich client application. And yes, with hats we can create such rich client applications. Okay, Mr. Blanchard is saying that he has the presentation, but he wants this picture winter.jpg. He can use any image. This is a sample image. We just use this image to put on the exercise we were doing. You can put any JPG or PNG or GIF image that is web supported image during your exercise. So this will only change the design a bit, but that will not stop your learning process. If any of you have any further questions, you can ask us in the next sessions, even from the material of this session. I hope you guys found this session interesting and informative. We'll have the next session tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, that is New York time. So thank you for joining us and patiently listening to us. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks. Take care. Bye-bye.
The organizer has ended the session, and this call will be disconnected. Goodbye.